There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Got it.
There it is.
All right, and do you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so we worked ahead and we formed some questions. We don't know if they're all going to be relevant, but we wanted to try to help create an agenda for today's meeting so we were all on the same page. And it's like you said, you wanted to create notes. So if you wanted to also use this document, we'll share it with you at the end of it. Or if you want to edit it live with us, feel free to go ahead. But first off, taking a look at your company, in class, you said you're a small company. Within that small company, what is particularly your role and what do you do for the company?
I own every role.
Okay, so
I am the
one person proprietor.
we are currently a one-person shop. We want to expand, but we don't have the ability and capabilities to because of our lack of technological innovation.
And what benefits do clients come to you, or what services do you provide to clients that you're giving to them?
Are you asking what my services are?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So what this sheet probably managing along with that. But yeah, what's your services?
So I sorry, give me a quick second. So in my company, in ABC Industrial Management, I work with our clients to manage their resources that they have across all their many different locations that could potentially be available. And so our goal is to provide um, kind of two things. One, the management of their resource inventories at large in terms of how much do they have in stock, but also to help them clarify when they need to renew stock. So that's really what the services I provide are.
And going along with that line, we've got like a roofing company, they have to buy so many nails per month. How do you find out that they're getting low on stock of nails and they need to keep nails in stock?
How do I do that today, or
How do you do that today? And how would you see, or what synergies would this product give you? Do you see this product giving you to better manage that process?
um give me 1 second. I have to think about that question. See, this is an important aside, instructor hat. Everybody's requirements will differ based on the questions that you ask. And so I encourage people not to crosstalk between teams in terms of this project because people might have different requirements. And y'all are trending towards different requirements, which is fine, perfectly fine. But I like the questions you're asking me. Um, so what my understanding of your question is, client hat back on. What my understanding of your question is you would like to understand how I plan to uh, let my clients know when they need to restock.
Or
Correct?
if you want to automate for them, if you got a particular contract for them.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I don't necessarily right now want to fully automate this process in terms of sending something to my clients on an automated fashion. But what I would like to know is whenever I'm on the web page, whenever I'm going to my site, I'd love to see when resources are out of stock in any given inventory.
How does that resource get up there?
What?
So currently, my perception is that you're doing this within an Excel document. So you must be having a physical conversation, or a conversation with someone, either email or in person, to know when to update these fields in the Excel document. How does that work now?
I have to do some calculations in my Excel document to understand whether or not I need to restock.
So
I need to
you
let my clients know that.
so you forecast for them too?
Yes.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough. I mean, that's not tough. So, I mean,
I have to do it all through an Excel sheet for now.
but that means daily, you're going into your Excel sheet. Are you taking out inventory daily, or how do you know how they're removing or using inventory, or are they selling the inventory or are they using inventory?
I have to get updated reports from the different clients that I have.
Would it be of value if they could have their own login that's secure to their own inventory where they could update that?
That'd be great, but I don't really want them looking around in my system for now. I want to start with having a new system where only I'm able to access it. It doesn't need to have security and all that for now. Instructor Hat, I'm saving you time with your project, so I could expand this as much as I wanted, but I'm doing specific things so that you don't have to do too much. Um, I just want to be able to access it wherever I am. Don't really care about being able to log in or anything. I'm probably going to be the only one who even has access to it anyway.
No, no
Who has a
login.
link to it. I don't
So
need to log in right now.
okay, so open web, anyone can get to it. In in your instructor head, are you telling me not to talk you out of that? Okay. Okay.
Correct. I am not. I'm keeping that away from you for now. I know that's not what should happen. You know that's not what should happen. But if we add to that, I think that that would be too much of the focus for all the teams. Now, I have another team that I'm working on that's senior design stuff, and we're going to be building this out a little bit more. I will require security. I will require all those things, but I don't need that right now.
Within that Excel spreadsheet, is there a CRM with like graphs that you like to see or highlighted fields? So what I'm thinking about is that main page for you. What's that main page? What do you want to see?
Um, that's a good question. So, like we talked about with respect to the restock information, that's probably going to be one of the most vital pieces of information that I have. I'd love to see which resources in a particular inventory for a particular client needs to be restocked. And that might be a great thing for me to see when I first get onto the page because that's where a lot of my services are.
And so you're manually entering the update it to the data field. Wouldn't it be, I mean, if you put in a number that automatically makes them go below that threshold, would it be of value to get instant notification? Or is that what you wanted, an access log? So like at the end of the day, you can be like, oh, this is after I've done, all my updating the inventory as the sales role. This is my sales funnel to call the client from the access log because these clients have now gotten so low with products.
You're asking me a lot of different questions. So I'm not sure what specifically you're looking for me to answer. Just think about what question is most
When you
important right
update when
now
you
to answer
update
first.
when you update the client's inventory, would it be useful for you to know immediately that this is below their threshold, that they need to restock?
Um, that would also be nice. But I mean, from my perspective, I'm not always going to just immediately go to my client and say, hey, it's time to update your stock. I might change the data entries over time and then at the end of the month or at the end of the week, let them know, hey, here are some places for you to restock in these particular locations.
Was that your idea part of the access log vision that you put in the PowerPoint? Or
The
what?
access log is more so for low end security and for managing what data I am accessing at any given time.
And part of that, what do you want to get up, or so you want every time you add stock, remove stock, or what fields or what things, capabilities are you looking to track in that off?
Yeah, so for an access log, when I review a client, when I update client information, and view any client information.
Can clients have multiple different inventory warehouses?
What do you do clients have multiple inventories?
Correct.
Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Yes, clients have multiple inventories.
No, not inventories like toys and hammers. Can they have multiple inventory warehouses?
An inventory is a warehouse. That's a
But
type of inventory.
so Amazon has warehouses all over the United States. They also within their system know that my new TV is at the Nashville warehouse and not in Texas anymore. So that's where I'm talking about, like the relationship. Do you deal with companies that have just, I'm going to assume they just have all one warehouse?
That's an assumption you're making. Are you asking a question?
Well, my original question was that, and it sounded like it was no, that they do not have multiple warehouses.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
They do have multiple warehouses. And in a warehouse, so an inventory has different types. An inventory can be a warehouse, it can be a storefront, it can be a barge. It's wherever my client's stock is.
Okay.
And so the resources are those things that are within the inventories.
Okay. Brianna, I don't want to feel like I'm monopolizing the conversation. Do you have any questions?
So far, no. We already kind of covered like what does your main page look like? And also you said it's only going to be one user and you're going to be able to access it, right? For the access, are you going to be able to delete stuff as well, or and like, you know, make it unavailable? Like, I don't know, because so far I have add, review, update, view, and add client. Do you have any other like requirements that you expect from us?
Um, so just as a so switch hats for a second. Some things that I've said that are ambiguous. Client information.
Yep.
Other things that I've said that or there are some things that I haven't said to be mindful of. What does it mean to review a client versus viewing client information? So just be mindful of some of those aspects of things because I understand what you're asking me, understand what you're driving towards, but I don't want to answer broad questions. Does that make sense? All right, switching back to cats.
And
Yeah,
can a client have multiple client contacts?
yes. A client can have multiple client contacts. So one of the things you asked me is about the access log and different levels of access. Do I want to be able to delete people or resource or anything? I don't really care to delete right now. I'm not really concerned about deleting anything. I think something that might be important to note is the access log. Really, I just want stuff logged to a database showing these things, showing what's happened in the system. I don't really care to see it in the application.
Okay. And you mentioned that you don't want clients to look around your information, but you also said you want this to be an open website that anyone can access.
Well, you're not going to be able to finish the product right now, so I don't need to worry about security right now.
You want the empty shell.
I want to see an prototype.
All right. You can definitely do that. When you load this main page, what is your what do you see it doing or showing that your Excel document doesn't show now? Or
Sorry, can you ask that question again?
what do you want to see on your main page? What do you
That's-
what features?
I think we talked about that a little bit already, right? On the main page, I'd like to see the restock information.
So how many clients do you have?
Right now, I probably have around 100 clients, but I'm hoping to scale it larger.
So to not
What's your range?
information on that main page with what needs to be restocked. I mean, if you have 100 clients and they each have 5 different places of business, the list could get pretty daunting. Do you want it sorted out by who needs the most restock? Well, we don't really have money in this, so we can't show you profits. So what to call first? That would be from my sales background. I'm going to think about my question. If you have any questions, Brian, go ahead.
Yes, what's your client range? You said you want to expand, right?
Mhm.
So how big do you think this client range is gonna get?
I hope I can get up to 10,000 clients one
Okay.
day.
Another question, you said whenever the inventory is low to like notify you. Okay, so what's the lowest you want your inventory to get until like you get notified, or it's like, okay, I gotta restock.
Yeah, at about 10% of any
10%?
of
Okay.
the resource stock, the max of the resource stock, I want to be notified on the main page.
Okay.
If it gets below
And
10% of max, right?
Yeah, so the max for each resource.
That answered my question. That was a great question. Um, or resources can be at multiple different warehouses or inventory. You can have the client can have multiple clients. We're going to have one user, but it's not even a user. Anyone can access it. You want it run on the web. No application. I'm going to ask just not an application for your phone, just web enabled, right?
What do you mean?
No Android app or iOS.
No, it doesn't have to be a native app.
Okay. I think we've got a lot of things that Brianna and I can chew over the next couple of days. I mean, I believe you'll obviously be open if we have any additional questions. Do you have any additional questions though before Zoom kicks us out of here? Brianna?
no, I think we got we got all of our questions answered. So I think for right now we're good. But in case we have any questions, can we schedule another meeting with you, or could we just like, message you and let you know?
Yeah, that's a
Or
great
like,
question.
what's your availability like?
Mm-hmm.
That way we
So
can.
I am available whenever. Just send me an email. We can get it figured out. Uh, Worst case scenario, you can message me on LinkedIn, and we can figure out from there. So next steps, in terms of next steps, instructor hat on, some feedback and next steps. So I gave y'all some clues of questions to ask. It's fine that you didn't ask them today. But remember, I said something was ambiguous. It wasn't clear. I did it on purpose. I said that so that y'all would know, oh, maybe I should clarify what that means. So for next steps, what I think would be helpful, and I've asked every team to do this, so that y'all aren't, it's not anything to feel any shame about. Think about what screens you will need and what features you'll need for those screens and list those out. I would like to have another meeting with y'all after you've done that so that we can talk through what that looks like. What does that mean?
Blank doc. 1 second.
Does that make sense what I'm asking from y'all?
Does that mean you like so we'll have like a theoretical web page, we got a bar right there. We're gonna have like, here's your field that you want, the list of the people that need to restock. We'll have, we can have access clients right here. And then, start going down that web,
Y'all do this next time.
but something that's what you want us to come to? Or come
Yes.
to? Okay.
Yes. I'd like for y'all to have that thought through because that's really the crux of what a client needs, right?
Yeah.
A client needs to understand what you are thinking, and I don't know what you're thinking.
And
We haven't talked about any of these things. I have made broad statements about what I need,
it
but
was,
you
it
haven't
was
gotten to
one
the
of my
specifics
questions,
about
but
it.
I don't think we went over it because I don't think it really exists. But do you have a working document, the Excel document that you're using now?
No. Yeah, those things don't exist, right?
Okay.
This is all a role play.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna come up with a fake application. Like I'd come up with a concept of a fake
Yeah.
application, but I'm not gonna develop it for real and say, hey, this is my fake application. But I'll talk to you about what I need out of a new application so that y'all can build out the requirements document. And really, I'm preparing you, right? These things coming to the next meeting with these things already done will prepare you for your actual requirements document.
Yeah. I mean, we could have did that, but naturally, I didn't know what I didn't know before I knew it, but I thought you would have, you as a administrator, then you'd have like a client, your internal something, and then you'd have like the capability for the client to be able to update their own inventory.
Ah, see, you're assuming.
That's why I asked. That's why I didn't want to do the UML of these pictures,
You don't have to do UML. I'm not asking for
or
UML.
not.
I'm asking for mockups.
I didn't want to do. My mock-up would have been wrong if I assumed that thought process with clients.
Well, you're already assuming a lot of things. You didn't ask me a lot of things. There's no clarification on a lot of the things that I know you'll need. Like, what does client information really mean? Can you give me an answer to that?
Client information would be like their name, their last name, their address, their email, and that's about it. And then in some cases you add their like credit card information.
Right, you're basing this off of this sheet right here. I will tell you right now, when clients talk, sometimes they mean different things when they say certain things. So even though it's on here, it says client information here, I'm not looking at that. I'm just thinking about, oh, I need to review my client's information. And so I might be thinking about more than just what you're saying. So it's important to just so that y'all are aware. This is more instruction, right? This isn't, I'm not admonishing by any means. So please don't take it that way. But it's important to think about what is clear and what is not. If you have the ambiguity, that's going to make it difficult to know exactly what people are looking for. Because when I am saying, I'm just to let y'all know, when I am saying view client information, I'm thinking of the whole client. And the whole client contains client contacts, it contains inventories, it contains resources, right? That's much more than just name, address, phone number, credit card, right? That's more than just that. So be mindful of what is ambiguous and what is not. So that's why that listing out those screens and features for the next meeting will be beneficial for y'all, so that I'm more aware of where are you? Where are the gaps in our understanding? And I can say, hey, I don't see a screen for blah. Right? Now we're getting to more specifics. We talked about the home screen, but we didn't really talk about any other screens today. So I don't know what y'all are planning. I don't know what you're thinking about. I don't know what you're missing. I'm assuming I'm assuming, right? I'm now making assumptions about what y'all are assuming. But all of that's just assumptions. It's not clear, hard facts. And so that makes it difficult to have true understanding and shared understanding between y'all's team and me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
Yes, sir.
yep. So do you want me to like come back next week and talk to you as the client and be like, so do you want the ability to create inventory, update inventory, delete inventory, as well as
I
resource?
want you to come with screens and features,
Okay.
because after this meeting, you have some assumptions that y'all made. You got some clarifications on some things. So come and say, hey, these are the screens we're planning to have. Let's look at some of the features. What do you think is missing? And it should be a team effort. It should not just be you, Nick.
Right on.
Team effort. All right. So the person who is not present, is it Muhammad? Does he go by a different name?
AIB, Muhammad, Abe.
Abe? Okay.